Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights, special weekend edition, shorter edition. Just had gotten the word that Whitey Ford passed away, I believe yesterday, and wanted to make some comments there. When these iconic, actually pitchers, there have been several pitchers now, but these Hall of Famers are passing away, players that I saw and respected. It's obviously melancholy. I can't say that I knew him. When in my position, I met a lot of ball players, maybe shook their hand. If you just have a 10-second interaction with somebody, it's hard to say you knew him. But Whitey Ford, he just was a kind of a regular sized guy. Not, in fact, in his later years, he was not the classic big power pitcher, but he definitely got a lot of mileage out of his ability. And they talk about how he had different deliveries and perhaps some deception, but he was amazing. He was amazing. And I wanted to write it off to the fact that he was a Yankee pitcher in the heyday of the Yankees of the 50s and the early 60s, but it's a lot more than that. I thought maybe he's got this great one-loss percentage because he got great run support, but no, he actually was a great pitcher. And he's card number 1 in the 51 Bowman set, and you think, that seems like an honor to be card number 1 in the set when he was just a 20, not very old. He came up for a part of the year, but he was 9-1, and I thought, wow, and he was just this young guy, probably early 20s in 1950. So he was 9-1. He came in 21st in the MVP voting for 1950. So not such a huge stretch being a New York Yankee that he would, with a kind of a cool name, Whitey Ford, to be number 1 in the 51 Bowman set. Interestingly, he didn't have a card in 1952 from Topps or Bowman. And then in 53, he had both. He had Bowman Color as well as 53 Topps. Both of those, actually 53 Bowman Color I always thought that was a tougher card. But why did he miss a year? He had the 51 Bowman card, but he didn't play in 51. He didn't play in 52 because he was in the military. So he lost 2 years. He had great career statistics, but they would have been even better but for those 2 years lost when he was 22, 23, 24, somewhere again in his prime. If he could be 9-1, he had some great years. And I was thinking about it. Is it unprecedented for Bowman to make him the card number 1 in the Bowman set? And so I looked at the 50 Bowman, who was card number 1. It was Mel Parnell. I thought, well, Mel Parnell, maybe not. And then I thought, wait a minute, what did Mel Parnell do in 1949? He was 25-7 and came in 4th in the MVP voting for that year. And Andy Pafko, another famous number 1 card from 52 Topps. Again, not regarded as a great player, but he'd been selected as an all-star the 4 years before, from 47 to 50. So he definitely wasn't a slouch. And his card is famous for being a condition rarity for 52 Topps, one of the very tough cards to get in great shape. Thanks sponsors, Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Heritage Auctions, Huggins & Scott Auctions, Burbank Sports Cards, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. ComC and BGS will see some flurry, and the marketplace will see some flurry of activity on Whitey Ford. Again, he was one of the, I don't know that he was the oldest, but he was one of the 1 or 2 or 3 oldest Major League players or Hall of Famers still alive. So he was buddies with Mickey Mantle, who came from around these parts. And the story goes that he and Mickey and Billy Martin got in trouble. Well, Mickey is Mickey. They're not going to get rid of him. Whitey Ford was an amazing pitcher in his own, probably would have been great on any team. And Billy Martin was a scrappy, good player, but he was traded. The other effect that affected Whitey's stats is that Casey Stengel was his manager. And you find out later that he basically did not give Whitey, as a young guy, a lot of starts. So he was not pitching as regularly, but he wasn't pushing him like they did for pitchers in the 60s. So his decade of the 50s, he didn't get as many starts. And so he'd have a great 1 loss and excellent ERA and all that, wasn't getting the innings or the starts, but still had a bunch of shutouts. And then, of course, that all changed when they changed managers after 1960. Then Ford was the undeniable ace of the Yankees and was was pushed out there and actually led the league in innings pitched a couple times, which is a recipe for arm trouble. But he had arm trouble early in his career, and apparently he took real good care of his stuff. What about some of his other cards? He's got not particularly tough cards. If you look at, again, I always thought 56 was tougher than 57, noticeably. 55 Bowman was difficult for me as a condition rarity. 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66 there. It seems like they're all 40 or 50 bucks, maybe 60 bucks. But 63 tops, probably tougher. 61 tops, all-star card would be one to look at. And like I said, when you're looking for new trends, 67 tops, that would be his last card. Would that draw extra interest? He didn't have a great finishing strong year. He was probably, I think he was 38, but he was, again, a great player and a great ambassador for the game. And anybody's a friend. Mickey Mantle is a friend of mine. So thanks, Whitey, for giving us these highlights. The decision that Casey made in 1960 to not start you in game 1, 4, and 7 allowed my Pirates at the time to win the World Series with Bill Mazeroski's walk-off homer to make it 10-9. As I said, I know exactly where I was, and I know that Whitey Ford was not on the mound, and he was not eligible for pitching because he shut him out in game 3 and 6, so was not available. If so, even a tired Whitey Ford might have been better than what the Yankees threw out there that the Pirates snagged 10 runs off. So thanks, everybody. Again, Whitey Ford, rest in peace. Be back again tomorrow with Monday with another episode.